Okay, good evening everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Want to talk to everybody about things going on here in the world and creation of a new group for me and everybody else, of course. Another group for everybody to share their quote remedies, I guess, in regards to your health and well-being. Because in this world of adversity, we have to have diversity. And that diversity comes from the various different things that we have available throughout the world to use for our own remedies. In particular here, I'm talking about remedies for your own health and well-being, aside from the health and well-being that we talk about in the legal system in regards to laws and all that. And so I started a new group in order to help bring people together in regards to our own natural sense, called MAN, M-A-N, Man All Natural. And it's a group I've created to bring people together for such remedies from natural things that are freely given already, and that we aren't dependent upon. Okay, our health and well-being is dependent upon how we use what is already freely given. And in today's world, like I said, all the adversity that we face, particularly in regards to the financial system and its construct, and using the inabilities of other people as an advantage to gain a profit for your conveniences. You know, the things that make life easy. You know, like going to somebody else for your health and well-being. When in actuality, that is one of our utmost and highest responsibilities and respects to ourselves, is being able to discern our own concerns for our health and well-being in regards to our physical nature. We have to be able to safeguard our own physical nature through diet and exercise and all that, and comprehension of how that interacts in the natural balance of all of life. And that's where the fictional construct of the legal world doesn't have any concern. Their concern is totally economic. And so when we think about the health and well-being of people or persons, there's a lot of dissemination and a lot of clarity that needs to be made. And I'm hoping this group will help make a clarification in your own mind by learning the natural processes that are already available to us through the natural diet and use of all the different things in life that are actually tools and elements that we're inherently supposed to use. When it comes to farming, I don't know that it's so wise to create such large farming fields that we clear off natural plants and things that are natural to the area, and end up with flat fields like Iowa that are nothing but flat cornfields for miles and miles and miles with very little real life habitat. Whereas self-sustaining our own little smaller communities, or self-sustaining ourselves within these communities, it can be done either way. We don't necessarily have to establish outer communities. We can do this within our own communities by learning that legal system that I have been working on and created my other group for. But this group here is specifically for our own private responsibilities for our initial health and well-being, which must come first in the physical form, so that we can be emotionally healthy and mentally healthy, to keep our cognizance about us, so that we can tell when people are speaking with forked tongues, so we can see the serpentine in the scriptures, so we can see the twists and corkscrews of the legal written languages, and the different styles and everything. By getting back to our own natural sense and becoming closer to our instincts rather than our conveniences. And so I hope everybody will join me in not just, it's not necessarily a new adventure. When I was adopted, my adoptive parents got me into the gardening aspect and showed me how to grow my own foods. Along later on in adult life, of course, growing their own garden, they fed us great, good meat, potatoes meals, good home style cooked meals. And so I wasn't ever a mac and cheese kind of guy. So when I was out on my own, along with gardening and stuff, I was learned in cooking. Not the greatest, but good enough to sustain myself. And then of course I got jobs learning how to cook as a cook. And so it became very natural for me to be able to discern what was good for me, how to cook it up, and what was going to be a good balance of those various different items. I've learned a lot of different uses of the different vegetables that we come across, along with a lot of different uses of natural plants and herbs and stuff that grow around us. Dandelions is one of the greatest things. You really need to start learning about this stuff so that we can get back, like I said, to our natural health and well-being, to get out of this indoctrination and cognitive dissonance that some kind of legal entity controls that in any manner. Because when we talk about our health and well-being, one of the first institutions that they use against us is that Social Security Administration. You're taught that when you're 18 and you become an adult and you're now responsible for your own health and well-being, you need to go get a job. But in order to get a job, you got to have a Social Security account. Bullshit. Bullshit. Neither of those is true. You do not have to get a job, and you do not need a Social Security account in order to get a job. And so again, this is just one of those groups where it's open to discussion as far as prepping and homesteading and living off grid and learning your own gardening and hydroponics, aquaponics, producing, manufacturing or processing your own goods, churning your own butter, learning how to barter and trade with your neighbor without the monetary system, learning what your values are inherently in the substances and products that you procure through that prosperity and abundance, rather than using futures and profits that are dependent upon a fiction, a what if. If you really want to work towards what ifs, then work on what ifs if you really got healthier in your own responsibilities of taking care of your own health and well-being, so that you could keep your mind free. One of the first posts I posted in here is about pine tree resins and how they have terpenes in them that help break down the elements that we ingest through this clinical study that the government has going on with processed foods in the medical industry and education. And these terpenes help break down all of these chemicals and detergents and all the radiation elements and heavy metals and everything, so that they are smaller themselves, plus help enable your cell structures to become more elastic and have a greater absorption of the nutrients that they each need individually, each cell, as well as expelling all the heavy metals and toxins and shit. And excuse my language there, I'm working on that. And this is one of the great elements, along with like your cannabinoids. I want to mention that cannabinoids don't just come in cannabis. Cannabinoids themselves come in multiple different varieties of plants and herbs and spices, and we have to comprehend that stuff. And the best way to do that is by taking responsibility inherently of our own natural health and well-being. And if we're gonna keep going out there and trying to use our body as a filter for all these like I said, toxins, detergents, and chemicals, and it just doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't work that way. It's going to get clogged up. So if we want to use the body as a filter like it's supposed to be, we have to have the right ingredients, the right nutrients to do that. In this legal society, like I said, it's just it's a big test tube. You know, we talk about flat Earth and how this is just a big dome. Yeah, it may be a big dome, but it's just a big test dome, according to the legal entity. And so I'm urging everybody to come together in this realm as well to help enhance those studies in legal realm, your own off-grid studies, in anything, because that itself is the essence of life, is your own health. If you're not healthy, then you're not lively. And if you're not lively, then you've got some adversity going on, and many times, as we see today, it's all internal because of all the divisional tactics that this legal system plays. And these types of activities, getting back to our natural selves, will inherently as well help us connect in a more natural and loving sense with each other. Another great, grander attitude towards our own health is in that natural law of love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy God with all thy heart, body, and soul. And ye are creators. So if ye are the God, then you have to love yourself with all your heart, body, and soul through the spirit of free will. And the spirit of free will starts with your health and well-being, period. So I hope everybody thinks about this stuff and comes and joins me in my new video, or my new group. I'm going to post the link in this after I get done with the video. It won't allow me to post a link and the video at the same time, so I have to do the video first and then go back and edit the post so I can include the link. And I will do that when I'm done here. So and just like I say in all my other videos, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless. Love you. Have a great night. Bye.